Are you the kind of person who pulls various recipes from various websites and can't quite figure out a good system for organizing all of those recipes into one place? If so, I'm here to help you. I want to introduce you to Trello, which is my organizational system for creating kind of a digital visual cookbook. Obviously, this is not sponsored. I don't get sponsors. In a nutshell, what Trello is it's a free website. It does come with a corresponding app which you can use on the go, but it is optimized to be used on a desktop computer, so that is where I usually work within Trello. I'm gonna start off by just showing you what Trello is and how to work it, and then I'm gonna show you how to customize Trello and customize your board in a way that it can work as a recipe book. And I'm also gonna provide you the links to my recipe books. You can always check out what recipes I'm trying, what I've added to my cookbook. So let's get into it. Here is the homepage, and this is what you will see when you first create an account or sign into Trello. And basically what you're seeing is all of your boards. So Trello behaves in a very similar way to Pinterest in the sense that there are boards. Boards are the highest level of the hierarchy, and within boards you can add lists, and then within lists you can add cards. So let's get to the foundations. Say I want to make a to-do list. I would go to create new board, and then I would add a board title. So in this case, I'm going to write to do, and I'm going to keep it private. You can also make it public so that other people can see it. And then you can select whatever background you want. There's a lot that you can choose that are presets, but then there's also ones that you can upload on your own, which is really cool. I think that's the best part about this. You can really make it aesthetically pleasing. Or you can start with a template that's been pre-made for you, but in this case we're just gonna create our own. So now you see your board, and what you can do within this board is you create lists. So if I'm doing a to-do list, I'm gonna have my to-dos here. I'm gonna add another list that might say in progress, okay? And then finally, I might add another list that is for things that are done. And at any point you can add more lists. You can grab and customize and drop things so easily. You can also do this on the app, but again, it's much easier to use this on a desktop. Say I wanna add another list that I realize that I want it to go before the to-do list, like on the radar. So that means, I might wanna put things on this list that I don't have to think about right away, but they are coming up, so I need to be aware of them. I can drag this and put it in front of my to-do list. Within lists, you can add cards. So say I want to get a gym membership, just click enter, set up goals for the month. So what's great about this is, again, you can drag and drop as things are in progress, and then once they're finished, you can drag them to the done list. So say I'm partway through reading a book, I can put that into my in progress, and then once I'm finished, I can add it to done. If you want things to disappear, you can always archive cards, which is great because you can't actually delete anything. Now let's just take a look at what cards actually look like when you click them. So I'm gonna click on get a gym membership. And you can see here that you have the option of adding more detailed description. So on the right here, we have kind of a sidebar. You'll see a lot of different options for this card. So you can assign members who are also on the board to the card. Next is labels. I use this on my recipe board, so this might be something you want to pay attention to. So labels are a way of categorizing your cards even further than just using lists to categorize them. So you can add a label to a card. You can also give a name to that color of label. Get a gym membership is urgent. Say I want to also say that set up goals for the month, that's quite urgent. So I would go in, click on it, and now you can see that the cards both have the same label on them. Then there's the checklist option. So by clicking a checklist, you can name it. So let's just call this steps to take. As you mark off each of these steps, you can actually, with the checklist option, click away. And then there's an attachment option. So if you wanted to attach a file or a document that you've been working on for this particular step, say for work, this is what you would use. Cover is just if you want the card to be represented with a photo, then that is what you would use. I do use this for my recipe book because I really want my recipes to be visual. So I always include a cover photo here. There's some other actions on the bottom here. You don't really need to pay attention to any of these for the purpose of this video for recipes, except the copy function. That is the only thing that you might want to use. And basically what that does is it copies the card and you can basically make a duplicate of it. So yeah, that's basically Trello. And as you can imagine, there's so many different ways that you can customize your list, and it's honestly a list maker's dream. So now let's get into the specific board that I want to show you guys, which is my recipe board. And this is what my recipe board looks like. So as you can see, I've organized each list by type of meal. I have breakfast here. I don't have a lot in there right now. Snacks and sides. I have salads, soups, entrees, desserts, drinks. And then finally, I have a list that actually has a template card in it. And this is a new list that I created that's to try. So whenever I'm trying a new recipe, but I'm not sure if I actually want to add it to the cookbook section, I always put it in this to try list before dragging and dropping it into its respective list. Let's click into one, for example. So I have my cover photo, and then basically what I have is all kinds of information. I always link to the actual source of the recipe so that I can reference it if I need to. Finally, I list all of the individual ingredients. Once you've made your list like this, what I do whenever I'm adding a new recipe is I use my template. My template card is set up already. I have everything that I'm gonna wanna fill in for each recipe as I import it into my board. I will give a bit of a disclaimer. The system is a bit time consuming if you are going to include all of this information. If you would rather just have the cover photo and then a link to the actual website where the recipe is, by all means. This is just the way I like doing it. I don't mind spending a few extra minutes organizing all of this information and going back and forth between the site so that I can get it onto my card. As an example, let's say I want to import a new recipe from Oh She Glows. I'm gonna go to copy, and we're gonna call this new card Blender Matcha, okay? And we're gonna keep the checklist that I've already pre-made here, and we actually can select the board that we want this card to go to. We're gonna keep it as the recipe board. I'm gonna actually make this go to the list that is to try. I'll change it to number 1 so it's at the top. So create card. So now if you go over to the to try list, you'll see that the Blender Matcha card has been added. Click in and it has all of the information copy pasted from that template card. Now it's just a matter of looking at the source site and adding all the information that you want. This is my favorite part here. So you can copy paste the ingredients directly into the checklist. So you click add an item, and then if you just paste and click add, it will separate each of the ingredients for you. The final step, which is what makes this a visual cookbook, is getting a photo. I'm actually gonna make a screenshot. And then I just import it as the cover. And then when you click away, as you can see, the Blender Matcha is on your to try list, and there's a beautiful cover photo. I think what annoys me the most about cookbooks and finding recipes is that sometimes they don't include photos of what you're making, which makes no sense to me. I instantly revert to being a child and I'm like, I want a picture book. Give it to me. I'm a visual person. This might not work for you. You might just be fine with having like a list without any cover photos. Honestly, for me, cover photos are key. The last thing that I forgot to tell you guys about was the label. Obviously, you can customize the labels to be whatever you want them to be, but when I find a favorite, I usually label them purple, and the purple label for me is a favorite. I also use like pasta as a label, Mexican. What you can do is you can run a search based on the items that you've listed as Mexican with the label. So it makes it really easy to sort through the things that you have on your list. Yeah, that's basically it. That's how it works. I hope you guys have some fun with this. I hope it helps you because I'm a list maker, I'm a lover of lists, and this app, this website honestly made my life so much better, so much easier in many different facets of my life, both personally and business-wise. It's just so customizable. It's so great. So let me know how you guys use your Trello boards and give me some ideas, because I'm always looking for new ways to use them. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Till the next one. That was dumb.